something squared. Okay, and like you can see in your problem here, it's x squared and then 5 squared. Just because 5 squared gets you to 25 and x squared gets you to x squared. So you have to identify these a and these b's in your problems. So do you see how in your problem a is x and b is 5?
Yep.
Okay, and then there's a formula, and that's the one you got to remember. It's a minus b, a plus b. So what you have to be able to do is figure out the a and the b, because once you know the a and the b, you can write it as x minus 5, x plus 5. Now, the most common mistake students make is they don't identify the correct a and b. They make b 25, but it's not 25. It's the number that you're squaring. So we're going to focus on that for a couple of examples here. Let me know when you get this down in your notes. The main thing is really this right here, the formula. That's really the main thing.
Okay, got it.
Got it? Okay. So let's look at an example here. Let's say it's x squared minus 16. Okay. And I'm going to write a squared minus b squared underneath of it. And what's really key here is that you figure out, well, what is a and what is b? Can you attempt to tell me either of those?
B, A is X and B is 16. I guess 16.
So you made that classic mistake here. B is not 16. B is the thing that when you square, you get to 16. So what number do you square to get back to 16?
9.
So you said 9. 9 squared is 81.
Oh.
Okay, so maybe we need to make a list of those squares. Like 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. This one's obviously way down the list here. 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25. These are numbers that you've got to know really well.
So it's 4 squared.
Yes. So what is b?
4 squared. 4.
4. It's not the part it's the part that you're squaring. It's the part, but below the 2. Okay. So if you know the formula, okay, you're like, okay, I'm going to write it as x minus 4, x plus 4. So again, it comes from this formula that I'm boxing in, and you've got to identify your a and your b, and that's the most critical part. And then on the right here, you have to know all these squares. Like you got to know those really well. I would definitely recommend getting those down. If you don't have them. Let me know when you've got this down.
Okay, got it.
Okay, fantastic. So let me give you a few problems to try here on your own here. So let's try this first one here. How about x squared minus 9? Okay. So again, you gotta figure out what is your A and what is your B.
It's X and B is 3.
B is 3. Okay, so now what do you write it as? What goes inside the parentheses?
A, B, A minus B.
Yep, A minus B and then A plus B. The order does not matter. So you could flip it. It could be A plus B, A minus B. But what goes in parentheses up here? That's what I'm asking. I agree. It is A minus B, A plus B. That's the formula. But what do we put?
X equals 3.
A minus 3.
Minus 3.
Okay.
And X plus 3.
X plus 3. Good. Okay. All right. Now let me give you one that's slightly different. How about 49 minus x squared? So it doesn't matter that the variable is second. It's always a squared minus b squared. A comes before the b.
Okay, so it's 7. A is 7 and B is X.
Yes.
So then it's 7 minus 0 X. Then in the other box 7 plus X.
Good. Very good. Okay. Do you need some time to get this down? It would be good to have these examples down in your notes.
Okay, got it.
You got it? Okay. All right. So let's try one more here. Let's say it's x squared minus 100. Could you try that for me?
Okay, so the A is X and the B is 10.
Yes. B is 10. A is x and B is 10. What goes in parentheses?
X minus 100 and the R one, X plus 100.
Okay. So here's what you just told me.
Oh, right. 10.
Yeah. You can't do that. I mean, you did all the work and then you put the wrong answer down. It's like marking it wrong, even though you got the right answer here. Okay, good. Okay, now the truth though is, and I'm gonna write these problems a little bit differently. So watch this. Let's say I gave you 3x parentheses squared minus parentheses 2 squared. Okay. So A is actually 3x in this problem. So your A can actually be more than just a number or a letter. It could be both. And your B is really 2. Okay. So I'm sort of giving you the answer, and I want you to see that it came from this 9x squared minus 4. So your original problem would look something like this: 9x squared minus 4. And what you have to be able to do is move to this step here where you figure out what it is that's squared, and then what it is down here in the next one. Okay, so that's the next type of problem we're going to look at here. So the answer is 3x minus 2, 3x plus 2. Okay, so let's look at another problem here together. Just maybe I'll try and see this differently. Let me know when you get this down in your notes here.
Got it.
Okay, so let's look at another problem here. Let's say it's 25x squared minus 9. So I'm going to write in parentheses below it here. So the one that's usually easiest is the number. So I'm at, this is a question for you, Jeremiah. What number squared gets you back to 9?
3.
3. Okay. And this is now your B. Your B is 3. Okay. Now on the left here, you have 25x squared. So it's now both a number and a letter. Like what number when you square it gets you to 25?
5.
5. And what do you square to get x squared? What squared gets you back to x squared?
X.
X. So now your A is 5x. Notice your A and your B are what are in parentheses. Okay, because when you expand this, it's still A minus B, A plus B, but A and B take on different meanings depending on whether they're just numbers or just letters or both. Okay, so A is 5x, B is 3. So what goes in this first position here?
5x minus 3.
Yes. And how about in the second position?
5x plus 3.
5x plus 3. So the real challenge here is figuring out your A and your B. That's the real challenge of this. So let me know when you get this down and we'll try another one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we're going to do one like it here. 64x squared minus 81. So what you have to do is figure out what squared gets you back to the previous line. And you can start with the number or the number in the variable.
Nine. So B's 9.
Yeah, B is definitely 9. 9 squared gets you back to 81.
And then 64.
64, you got it.
8x.
8x, perfect. Okay, so that's your A. Your A is 8x. Okay, so now you're going to write A minus B, A plus B.
8x minus 9.
Okay, and
And
then,
then 8x plus 9.
yes, very good. Go ahead and get this down. I'd like you to try one on your own here in a moment.
Got it.
Okay, so here's one for you to try. I'm gonna make it just slightly different, but you should still be able to handle 100x squared minus y squared. And I'm just looking for the final answer.
Okay, so the final answer is 10x minus y.
Okay, keep going.
And then 10x plus y.
Good. Very good. Okay, fantastic. So now what can also happen is both positions could require you to do this. So let's say it's 144 x squared minus, let's go 9y squared. So you could actually in both positions have an A and a B that are more complicated here. So go ahead and give this one a try. See what you come up with.
Um, Is A 40?
So I didn't give you the full list here. We stopped at 9 squared. So 10 squared is 100.
Yeah.
11 squared is 121. 12 squared is 144. 13 squared is 169, and so on. So let me actually go to my website here and grab a squares and square roots reference sheet, because you'll definitely want this. I would recommend printing it out for you, because it'll help with this and then standardized testing. So let me copy link, throw that in the chat.
I'm printing it right now.
All right, sounds good.
So it's 12x.
Yep, 12x is in here.
Yep. And then the next one is 9y.
When you square 9, though, you get to 81. We want to know what you square to get back to 9.
Okay. So 81. So the other ones is 12x. No. So if it was 9, it'd be 3.
3y, yes. Yep. So what goes in parentheses?
12x minus 3y and 12x plus 3y.
Perfect. Good. Okay, let's have you try another one here. Let's go with 225y squared minus 169x squared. I just want the final answer for this one.
15y minus 12x.
12x does not get you to 169x squared.
I'm at 13x.
Yes, there you go. So what goes up here in the parentheses, though? That's key.
Okay, so it's 15y minus 13x.
Good.
Then 15y plus 13x.
Good. Very good. Well done. All right. So actually, you did real well in this checkpoint. That's good to see. The next type of factoring we should talk about is what's called a perfect square trinomial. You actually did a couple of these in your let's see, what was it called again? Checkpoint. So perfect square trinomial, we'll just give an example. Let's say it's x squared plus 6x plus 9. So there's a set of steps here. So what you do is you take the square root of the first term, the square root of x squared, and it's almost always going to be x. Then you take the square root of the last term, 9. So if you notice on that squares and square root sheets, it's got the square roots on the right of it or the left. I don't remember which, but can you tell me what the square root of 9 is?
Square root of 9 is 3.
3. Okay, so then you take this x and u3 and you merge them together, so you get 3x.
Okay.
So then you double it. That's kind of the part that most students forget, double it. So that's a 6x, and you check that that's the same as the middle term there.
Okay.
So this is a perfect square trinomial. And I know there's a lot going on here, but this is your A and this is your B now. And it's not the same A and B as what we've been doing, but it becomes A plus B squared. So you would write x plus 3 squared. All right, so you got that down?
Got it.
Okay, so we're gonna look at another problem here. X squared plus, let's go 14x plus 49. So you start by taking the square root of the first term and the square root of the last term. The square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 49 is 7. Okay, and then you squeeze them together, so you get 7x, and then you double it. And that's the part that you got to remember, that you got to double it, and that's 14x. And is that the same as the middle term? You ask yourself, is that the same? And you say, yeah, it's the same. Okay. So then the things you took the square root of, that becomes your A. And actually, let me write it differently. Let me go write your A, and that becomes your B. And this becomes A plus B squared. So this becomes x plus 7 squared. So it's the same set of steps each time. And then once you identify your A and your B, you write it in the form that it's asking for. So let me know when you get all this down, and I'll have you try one more before we close out for today.
Got it.
All right, so here's your problem here. X squared plus 4x plus 4. I want to know what it is squared. That's what I'm looking for.
X, no, 4x.
Jeremiah, like the previous problems, it's something plus something squared. It's got to look like this. And what you have to do is you have to follow the steps I showed you. You have to take the square root of the first term, the square root of the last term. What is the square root of x squared?
X.
What is the square root of 4?
2.
2. And then you squeeze them together. And then what's the last thing you do here? What do you do to this 2x after you squeeze it together?
Double it.
You double it. And that's 4x. And that's your check. So your A is X and your B is 2. X plus 2
Okay.
squared. All right, so we will definitely pick up here on Thursday, work through some more examples like this. Good job today, and appreciate you being willing to try a few of these problems on your own, and just keep it going. I see your grades steadily improving.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great night. Bye now.
You too.